Hello, this is College Carnage. For our first milestone, we wanted to achieve these three things. We wanted to have the player.cpp running, we wanted to have 3 out of 5 screens and 4 out of 6 obstacle classes to be ready. We in fact do have the player.cpp running. We have 2 out of 5 screens and 3 out of 6 obstacle classes ready. I don't think it will be very hard to work out the rest of them as we know the process. All of our code is not integrated together yet. Only the player.cpp and the obstacle classes are integrated and they're working fine. We also worked on the timer for the game and the power-ups for our game. They are not yet integrated with the rest of the code, but hopefully before the next milestone on Monday, we will be done with that and we will have a running code. I had to work on the timer class. This is what it looks like. It starts from 60 because we're planning to have a 60-second level. It ends at 0. We had I had to use SDLTTF for this, so I had to figure that out. And there I had to use a different function for L texture. Um, I'm just trying to integrate it with the rest of the code. Other than that, it's working fine and it's ready. Before the next milestone, hopefully that will be achieved.
Alright, so for the first week, we were able to achieve a lot of the milestones we set for ourselves. We wanted to set up the important classes of the game, like the game object class, which is going to be the base class for a lot of the objects in the game, and the L texture class, which is going to make rendering to the screen easier. I was tasked with player and projectile. I worked on their functionalities, and currently the player moves left and right, and the projectile is launched and destroyed, as it should. So the player class is actually a singleton class. It only allows one instance of the player, as our game only needs one player. And it only creates one instance like so. The projectile class is inherited from GameObject, and the projectile deallocates itself as it moves off screen. We can see as we run this that the player spawns in the center of the screen, can move left and right, and it hits a boundary, and it can shoot, and can also shoot while moving, and the bullets get destroyed as they move out of scope. So that's it.
Hello, I'm Bridget, and for this week I made some obstacles crises in page 3D. I'm gonna run the code first. So this is the basic idea of what our game looks like. The obstacles come up from above and the player will shoot it. The player part is run by Marine, and you'll see in her part of the video how the player is being rendered and everything. So let's do the code now. So I have created 3 queues of to store the obstacles, and the obstacles are stored over here. They're rendered according to frames, and they're rendered here, and the movement is controlled over here as well. So in every class, there is the sprites are being taken up from the sprites according to the coordinates, and this is basically what I've done for this week.
Okay, so for this milestone, I worked on the screens and the buttons. The screen holds an L texture pointer. Our L texture class holds an SDL texture pointer and just renders whatever it is on the screen. There's a set screen method and there's a render method. To the set screen method, you can set whichever screen you want. This is the button header. It has the L texture pointer to hold the button sprites. So it has 2 SDL rect objects. These are basically to check the collision of the mouse on the buttons, whether the mouse is hovering over the buttons or not. And there are 2 buttons, so each of these holds the position of the button on the screen of each button. So you can check the hover. It sets the mHover variable to whichever button the mouse is hovering on, and over here it checks the value of the M hover and renders the buttons accordingly. So I'm just gonna run this, and as you can see, if you hover the mouse, it changes. If you click drop out, it exits the game, and if you click enroll, you are transferred to the gameplay screen. And this is as far as I've gotten so far. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maria, and my job for this project, for this milestone, was to create the power ups class. And here you can see the power up a.h, and here in main.cpp I am rendering and loading the sprites for the 3 power ups that I've made. Here you can see that I'm inheriting game object class from the game object class certain functions, and these functions will be used here to move the sprite, that is the move function, and here it is the render function. Here is power, and you can see that there is a random function. This random function is used for deciding which power up is used and from where they come from the top of the screen. And the purple sprite here is actually the player sprite. Thank you.
So this is what we're planning to achieve by Monday. For our next milestone, we want to have all obstacle classes to be ready. We want to have the screens ready. We want to have the point.cpp and projectile.cpp. Projectile.cpp is already done. We want to be halfway done with the game manager class. We want to have collision detection between all of our objects by the next milestone.